Hello and welcome to Comms Business Live. I'm Charlotte, editor of Comms Business, and today we will be examining what makes a strong distributor-reseller relationship. I'm delighted to be joined by Mike Lloyd, Managing Director at Nuvola Distribution. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So Novellas Distribution prides itself on being more than just a box shifter. The company instead offers technology and services expertise for both resellers and vendors. Throughout our discussion, you will hear about resellers that have achieved greater results from working with Novella due to the company's depth of expertise, technical knowledge, and the support of its marketing and sales teams. First up, let's talk about the role distributors play in the channel ecosystem. How do distributors help connect the dots between resellers and vendors?
One of the things which is quite interesting is it's changing at the moment. As we all know, the market's changing. So as a distributor, we have to adapt. I think you will see a lot of resellers now are having to look at multiple vendors and multiple technologies. And as a distributor, we pride ourselves in making sure that we have the expertise and the facilities to ensure that they can take a product into their customers without worrying about the fact they might not have all the expertise in-house for the time being, and they can fall upon our skill sets in order to win that deal.
Definitely. And what is different about Novella's approach compared to what other distributors might be doing?
I think Novella has prided itself on not being what a lot of people call broadline distributors. We have a finite amount of products in our portfolio. What that means is every product we do sell and distribute means that we can give a certain level of technical and sales expertise without spreading it too thin. It also means that we can focus our resellers, but also ensure that the resellers know exactly what markets we can help them with and also support them with.
Definitely. And resellers are finding that they increasingly do need that expertise so that they can adequately support their customers or even just to win new business. How do you guys help support your resellers to really bolster that expertise?
So at Novellas, we have 5 divisions. And what that means as a distributor, we have a number of different propositions for our resellers. And the underlying all of that is our professional services. So every product we sell, we offer a certain level of professional services, whether that might be help desk all the way to on-site support, on-site deployment. That is one of our big differentiators compared to a lot of other distributors. The engineers are around the UK. And like I say, what that means is rather than the resellers having to invest in these engineers, they can use our skills until they feel it's appropriate for them to bring in their own in-house skill sets themselves.
And have you seen resellers kind of move through those ranks, kind of starting out and really working hand in hand with you and then going on to develop their own expertise?
Yeah, I mean, again, the market's changing. So gone are the days of the traditional voice or data resellers. Resellers are now looking like IT resellers, print partners. So those people are entering markets that are unknown to them. So they have to start with our skill sets. But we also make sure we can set them on their way to either bring on engineering expertise themselves, or perhaps offering a certain level of technical expertise and utilizing us for the rest of it. So for example, they might do the tier 1 when it comes to support, and we'll do the tier 2 and 3. So we offer a lot of bespoke services around these resellers who may be slightly skeptical about entering and throwing a lot of money at something. They might go, we'll just take a step back. We'll work with Novellas. We still have all the accreditation. We still have all the expertise, the commercial support, but we don't have to heavily invest from day one. We let Novellas do the heavy shifting and then come on board if we feel that that product, for example, is worth us bringing in our own skill sets.
Absolutely. And you guys have also heavily invested in your sales and marketing functions. What does that mean for your reseller and vendor partners?
We're very proud of how hard we work around sales and marketing. For a distributor like us, who is very focused on the comm side of things, we have to be slightly careful about what resource we put in terms of marketing and sales. But if we see a reseller who is committed to us, we will throw a kitchen sink at it to ensure they either do campaigns, e-shots, maybe webinars, maybe even host a seminar one day. So we work with them, look at their verticals, their geographical, see where they're strong, look at their past, where they want to get to, and build a campaign around that with them. Unfortunately, we've got a terminology of marketing as a service, which obviously takes on the whole UCaaS, CCaaS, and now MAS.
Lots of as a service
Exactly.
acronyms. So the last couple of years have really emphasised the importance of being responsive to changing customer requirements and market conditions. How do you ensure that Novellas can continue to respond and adapt to things as they present themselves?
So, yeah, it's a great question. Responsive is an underestimated word when it comes to distribution. We can't sit still like resellers, like end users. For example, with contact center and certainly the nice CX1 scenario, contact center has boomed since the pandemic. So therefore, we've had a previous experience in the professional services. We've installed potentially around 100 contact centers over the last 12 months. But what we saw was contact centers were no longer 1,000 seat, 500 seat. They were coming all the way down to potentially a 10 seat, 20 seat. And our resellers are finding these opportunities. They might not have the skill sets. So we've had to be responsive in making contact center solutions available as a wholesale via the distribution. And that goes along with a lot of our UCaaS solutions as well, making sure that that market is accessible for people. They still keep control of their customers rather than the master agent side of things. So yeah, we've had to change the way we look at things. We still have a very large on-premise UC division because a lot of people are still utilizing, sweating the asset, continuing with an on-premise. So again, we've had to understand the market and ensure that the resellers can go into an opportunity from a consultative side of things and say to the customer, do you want it on-premise? Do you want it in the cloud? Do you want hybrid? They can turn to us and say, right, Novella, the customer wants this. What have you got? And we'll work with them to put the best solution together. So certainly in the UCaaS space, we have a number of key players there. And as a distributor in the wholesale, we have to be consultative because not one UCaaS solution fits all. And we found that out over the last 2 years that not all of them fit that same. So you find yourself square peg round hole. So we're saying to the resellers, don't worry about that. Come to us. Tell us what you need. So we have had to be responsive, not only in changing the way we do things, but also some of the products we put out there.
And I guess just by the role that you guys play in the ecosystem, it does help you respond because you can see what's happening in other resellers and their customer base and then really adjust like you just talked through there.
Yeah, I mean, Teams, unfortunately, is a classic. It's everywhere now. So we've had to be responsive, and not only just for our business, but for our resellers, because they are coming across more Teams opportunities. And that might be integration with the UCaaS or it might be pure Teams. So we've, for example, put together a Teams ecosystem where the customer wants Teams, but they also want some enterprise voice. They want some contact centers. They want some handsets. So again, our resellers can go into these opportunities and go, right, okay, you've got one piece of the jigsaw. We can add the final pieces. So again, how we sell it and utilizing the skill sets we have, because we do understand comms very well, means that we can come up with these solution-based products for our resellers that they can take to their end users.
Definitely. And from our whole conversation, we've kind of talked around different ways that you guys collaborate with your partners. But what can resellers broadly expect from partnering with Novellas?
We're very key on customer success. So we want to talk to customers, understand resellers, what they're looking to do. So it comes back to responsive as well. So we are flexible, which then comes in with responsive. Like I say, customer success, customer service is key. We hold products, so we do the box shifting A to B, but also we tag on all the technology services. So people should be able to come to us and say, we have a requirement for a solution for this customer. It might be video conferencing, could be meeting rooms. We will then understand that requirement from the end user's point of view, put this solution together. So it means that the reseller, if they have a relationship with that end user based around voice or data, and that end user says, I like you, Mr. Reseller, and I want to buy some other products off you, they feel comfortable, go, not a problem. I can bring in my trusted distributor who will work with us to make sure you get the best solution. So it's all about collaboration, but collaboration, end user, reseller, and Novellas. We keep our customers, and I think that's because we do a good job, but also because of the responsiveness, the flexibility, and also the technical know-how.
Definitely. And we've talked about different technologies that have really kind of cropped up in the last couple of years. I mean, contact center, as you said, is a prime example of that. But how else has Novella's portfolio evolved over time, and what technologies are you finding are particularly in demand at the moment?
Contact center, as we said, is evolving all the time. We've had a great history of contact center for almost 10 years. So that wasn't particularly new to us. Yeah. But like I say, a lot of the resellers are picking up. Certainly 3-4 years ago, if you said you were going to be selling interactive screens, meeting room solutions, I'd go, that's not really a UC or comms. Well, it actually is now. So again, people are saying we're not going to have lots of people in the room, but we want to have collaboration facilities where we have 2 people in a room, and then we want to bring people in. So that technology has come along. We also have found that we have in our intelligent networking division, we look at the layer 1, so all the what if scenarios. So we all run Teams, Ring Central, 8x8, NFON, whatever across this great network. But if that network's not working, it's no good. So we put a lot of effort and intelligence in supplying products that actually enable you to deliver quality bandwidth, security, load balancing, etc., around intelligent networking. So those are some other products that maybe, again, some of our traditional partners wouldn't have looked at or even listened to if they're NG, but now they can say, well, hold on, you've got all the lovely phones, you've got all the nice screens, but if your broadband goes down, how can we ensure that we can give that quality of service, the backup, the aggregation, whatever it might be?
Yeah, because that is definitely a trend that's really picking up at the moment, just really looking at the entire kind of tech stack within companies and thinking, how does this fit together? Is there anything missing here? Like, where are the weaknesses? And
Absolutely.
Networks, as you said, is often where things can fall down.
We found that certainly with the data and the Wi-Fi, again, in the building, that has to be rock solid because you're relying so much more on it. So that's all very well. Let's build a good data network, which we can do with the Alcatel product. But as soon as you go outside, your influences and the risks are bigger. So you need to say, well, okay, we need to create some what if scenarios. That's where SD-WAN comes in with our adaptive product. So, you know, we have the full jigsaw. And as you say, maybe 5 years ago, people were just looking at the voice and maybe a bit of Wi-Fi and what fits in. Now we're saying you've got to stretch it out because as a reseller, they're going to be knocking on your door when it goes wrong. They won't care when you say, oh, it's not a bit. No, you supply us the comm solution. We want to know that it works.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Mike, thanks so much for sharing all those insights with us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. If anyone watching wants to hear more about Nuvola Distribution and what we've discussed today, there are some links in the video description to point you in the right direction. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. And thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Stay safe.